Hey you guys, welcome back. My name is Nikki. I'm an initiated high priestess, witch, and psychic medium. And I have a very important message for y'all about destiny swapping. And when most people hear me use the phrase destiny swapping, they immediately think of what I experienced twice, which was deliberate spiritual attacks, spell work, sacrifices, jealousy, or someone consciously trying to take what belongs to them. And that's very real, and it does happen. But what if I told you that one of the most common forms of destiny swapping isn't actually happening through ritual work at all, but it can affect you just the same? And what if it's happening through your relationships? What if it's happening through the people that you love the most? And what if it's been happening for years without you realizing it? When I teach destiny swapping, I'm not only talking about people intentionally trying to interfere with your path. Okay? Sometimes destiny swapping happens through energy exchange. Sometimes it happens through unhealthy relationship dynamics. Because one person is constantly giving and forgiving, while another person is constantly taking. An example of this is you give this person love, forgiveness, compassion, emotional labor, patience, nurturing, softness, support, encouragement, second, third, fourth, 16th chances, right? And in return, you receive stress, heartbreak, betrayal, confusion, gossip, instability and unpredictability in relationships, which is very, very important for the feminine nervous system because we experience and feel trust differently than the masculine does. And Lucy Progresso, to one of my teachers and coaches, Mina Arfan, for teaching us this, but the masculine, he can have an issue with another man that kind of chips away at his trust a little bit, but the masculine, when it comes to trust, sees the big picture, right? And says, man, yeah, you fucked up, but you've had my back for 10 years. I'm a little mad, but I'll let it go, right? And then they move on. That's how usually the masculine approaches stuff. The feminine, it's a moment-to-moment thing. It's a very dynamic and static thing. Okay, it's just how we're wired. It's not all this stuff that you've done for me. It's, can I trust you in this moment? I don't trust you right now. It's very different. Okay, so having that consistency in our relationships is very important to us. It's essential for it to be a balanced connection. You also receive self-doubt, envy, emotional exhaustion from telling this person that their behavior is hurting you. And a lot of these people, not only will they gaslight you and pull out the narcissist and sociopath playbook, Darvo, gaslight you, reverse it on you, deflect, project, all that bullshit, they'll keep doing the thing that's hurting you. And there's only so many times that you can repeat yourself before you are emotionally burned out and depleted. And that pain distracts you from your goals, okay? And the exchange is fundamentally unbalanced. And this is where it gets deep. This is why I call this part destiny swapping, because energy is a resource, attention is a resource, life force energy is a resource, especially from the feminine, because we bring things to life. Time is a resource. Emotions are a resource. I just said energy is a resource. What does emotion mean? Energy in motion. As a woman, your emotional labor is priceless. Your nurturing energy is priceless. And when someone repeatedly drains those resources from you, something happens. Okay? And let me pause. I'm telling y'all all this because I have lived this. I am not perfect, but I am very big on integrity, and I don't tell y'all and transmit anything that I don't know. And that I haven't lived and done my best to embody. Okay? I've been through this. I'm a Cancer. People love emotional labor from Cancers. Okay? When I'm telling you this can derail your path, listen. And yes, we can heal from it, we can move on and rebuild our lives after terrible, destructive relationships, but it takes years sometimes, okay? And again, when someone repeatedly drains those resources I mentioned, something happens. You become distracted from your purpose. Your nervous system becomes overwhelmed. So you just had a falling out, an argument, a knockout, drag out fight with this asshole or this person. And y'all separate. You try to sit down and work on your goals. Maybe brainstorm a new business project or create that presentation you need to do for your career, for the team meeting, and you can't fucking think straight because your nervous system has been hijacked. Ask me how I know. Your creativity declines. Your motivation decreases because you've been through turmoil and that's taking up energetic space in your container, and you don't have the capacity to be creative. And also these emotionally terroristic in nature relationships put the feminine in survival mode. Okay? So that also decreases your motivation. Opportunities get missed. You get tired. You can't sleep. You have nightmares. You basically start to develop emotional and relationship PTSD. And your focus shifts from creating your future to just surviving and enduring the relationship. Do y'all see the difference between those two settings? That is huge. Those are two completely different realities. 1 minute you're making a vision board, the next you're tired, fatigued, overwhelmed, burned the fuck out, and you're just trying to get through the day. And walking on eggshells, trying not to trigger this person, or if they're triggering you, you're just trying to keep the peace. That's fucking exhausting. And God did not put you here to deal with that, okay? Meanwhile, what happens to them? Usually, they're being nourished by the very energy that you're giving away. Your encouragement helps them. Your support helps them. Your emotional labor helps them. If you're brainstorming for them and giving them business or creative or job ideas, they do it. And it works. Your forgiveness allows them to continue operating without accountability. And while you're becoming depleted, they're becoming empowered. That's why I consider certain relationship dynamics a form of destiny swapping. Not because they're literally stealing your destiny, although there are people, I dealt with one, person number 2 that tried to destiny swap with me, I was also in a relationship with. And he was doing spiritual work to try to take my blessings. And also doing all of these toxic relationship things to me. I was getting hit from both sides. But that's not always the case. But regardless, they're benefiting from the energy that was meant to help you build your destiny and not theirs. And right now, at this point in the podcast, this is where things get deeper. Okay? As women, relationships impact us profoundly. And for thousands of years, women have been conditioned to prioritize others, maintain harmony, because if we even looked at our husbands back in the day the wrong way, he had the right to unalive us, or at least kick us out and leave us homeless and without resources and provision. So it's hardwired in our DNA to maintain harmony. And the reason that it causes such a nervous system response within us when these conflicts happen, and they're not being handled by the other person in a healthy way, because conflict is going to happen in any connection and relationship that you have, because we're human beings, we're imperfect. I'm going to upset you, you're going to upset me, but ideally we talk it out. I change my behavior, you change yours, and we move on, right? But most people don't have that emotional intelligence. And women have also been conditioned to tolerate mistreatment, sacrifice ourselves, overgive, overnurture, and ignore our own needs. And many women were taught, myself included, that being a good woman, then it means endless self-sacrifice. But self-sacrifice is not the same thing as love. And self-abandonment is not a spiritual virtue. And whether people like it or not, relationships can make or break a woman's life. And the people closest to you, they influence your confidence, your nervous system, your self-image, your opportunities, your energy levels, and your ability to create and receive. And this is why protecting the good relationships is spiritual work, discernment is spiritual work, and boundaries is spiritual work. And the people who are manipulative understand something very important. They may not be able to directly access your power, right? Maybe you've evolved enough and learned enough to have better discernment, right? And they'll realize this, but they'll try to access the people around you. They'll try to create conflict. They'll try to distort how other people perceive you, spread misinformation, create division, trying to get people to gang up on you, provoke emotional reactions, and encourage unhealthy dynamics. And sometimes they're very sneaky and they do this in a roundabout way, and the attack isn't against you directly. It's against your support system. Because they think if they can destabilize your relationships, they can destabilize you. Okay, it's very sinister, it's very fucked up. But as I've said before in multiple episodes, every single good, positive aspect of the divine feminine, people will try to use it against us. And for their own benefit and to our detriment. It's sick, it's disgusting, but I see it more and more every day. And another point that I want to make is mother wounds make women more vulnerable. And this is especially important for women with childhood neglect, emotional or physical or SA abuse, abandonment wounds, inconsistent caregivers, parents dealing with alcoholism or substance abuse, narcissistic parents, and ultimately mother wounds. Because when we grow up craving love, we often become adults who tolerate too much. Which makes sense. You're having a normal human response because you are experiencing this trauma and abuse or neglect as you were developing, so that pain and wound developed with you. And if that's how you grew up, that's how you grew up. You don't know much different. Right? We become experts at understanding people's pain. We become experts at giving people another chance. Because we felt like we had to. We become experts at seeing potential instead of reality. And predators love all those things because compassion without boundaries is easy to exploit. And the answer is not becoming bitter. And this is where a lot of people get it wrong, and I don't want you to do that. After enough hurt, a lot of women swing to the opposite extreme, where nobody can be trusted, everybody's toxic, they gotta cut off the world, they have to become cold and bitter and hardened. That's not healing. That's self-protection turning into self-imprisonment and isolation. The goal is not to shut down your heart, okay? Because the feminine's nature is very heart-centered, okay? The answer to this is something that my spirits did with me and told me to do, and they call it spiritual pruning. Just like, and mind y'all, a little, because I have to throw a joke in here every now and then, right? When they told me this, because I'm a clairvoyant, right? I see images in my viditi, in my third eye, my mind's eye. I don't just see spirits, I see images, right? Visions. They showed me this. Pruning, right? I'm not a plant girl. I'm a new plant mama. But I didn't know what spiritual pruning was when they told me this. I'm like, what is that? I've heard of prunes, the fruit. But they're like, no, it's when you cut off all the dead, diseased plant. So the healthy plant can grow. And just like a gardener prunes a plant, you remove what's unhealthy so that healthy growth can happen. You don't destroy the entire garden. You don't burn it down. You simply remove what is preventing it from flourishing. And spiritual pruning teaches you who gets access to you, who doesn't, what relationships can stay, what relationships need distance, where boundaries are required, and how to stop bleeding energy and linking energy into people who repeatedly harm you. It's not punishment, it's alignment. It's choosing where your life force goes. Okay? And so everything that I just said about the spiritual pruning, keep that in mind. We'll get back to it in a minute, okay? But if you've been wondering why you're exhausted, why your blessings feel delayed, hint, hint, that can be your spirits and your higher self delaying your blessings because they don't want the people, the toxic, hurtful assholes that you have around you to benefit from said blessings. Especially if these people cause you turmoil. Ooh, I'm getting passionate because I've dealt with this shit too. Especially if the people, the toxic, hurtful people around you cause you delays, obstacles, hurdles, unnecessary suffering when you are trying to achieve said goals and blessings. They will block it. Not because they're trying to punish you. The universe and the divine, they just look at it like they don't fucking deserve it. You gotta get the fuck away from them before this blessing can come. Because if they can touch it, they can sabotage it. So it's like literally a protection spell from God. Y'all think your candle magic and your protection spells hit? Have y'all ever been under a protection spell by the universe and God itself? That's a whole separate episode. Okay? Where was I? Basically, if you feel off, and you can't explain why, and you feel like you're dealing with destiny swapping, but not sure where it's coming from, look at the relationships in your life. Look at who is benefiting from your constant giving and what they're giving you in return. Because sometimes the biggest block is not a curse or spell work or bad luck or a muerto oscuro, a bad spirit, an earthbound spirit. It's simply an unbalanced relationship draining the energy that was meant to heal you and build your future. Okay? If this resonates with you, I teach this concept in much greater detail inside my Destiny Swapping course, which is coming July 16th. And I'm not sure when, but within the next month or so, I'll also be releasing my spiritual pruning training as a course preview, because this work has already been life-changing for so many women, especially those healing from abuse, neglect, abandonment, psychic attack, and mother wounds. This concept changed my life when I was dealing with certain things. Because once my spirits gave me the analogy and the understanding of what needs to be done energetically, it was easier for me to not only understand, but to apply it. And to look at myself and my growth as a plant. And I gotta cut all the dead weeds off, all the dead ends, so that the good parts of me not only don't get sick and contaminated by the toxicity, but also so that those good parts can grow. Okay? And I will be teaching that as a course preview. It will be a freebie on YouTube. I just gotta sit down and do it. So stay tuned for that. Okay? But for the Destiny Swapping course, early bird pricing is currently live. It's up for pre-sale. And Afterpay is available at checkout. And you can visit the course at sirensnectar.com/destiny. And another note that I want to leave before I close out is your destiny is not protected by giving more of yourself away. If that was the case, I'd be a hell of a lot further along, and so would many, many, many other women. This is a collective experience, y'all. Okay? Some women are lucky enough and blessed enough to have mothers, grandmothers, aunts, titis, big sisters, cousins, that teach them these things from an early age, right? But if you didn't have that, and instead your mother was trash, not only did she not teach you these things, but she exploited your emotions. And I am so thankful for my madrina, my godmother, right? Because the last 4 years, she has done her absolute best to teach me very fundamental things that truthfully, my mother should have taught me. Oh my God, I'm getting emotional. Oh Lord, have mercy. I told my godfather a few weeks ago when I was on the phone with him, and he laughed his ass off when I said this. I said, I feel like in this lifetime, the universe and God and Samya did not allow me to be my godmother's biological daughter, because as a teenager, I would have driven her crazy with my rebellious, gothic, emo ass. And the universe did not want my Yaya to have to endure that. I wasn't a bad child. I was just rebellious. I had unmedicated ADHD. Undiagnosed. Like, to tell y'all how crazy I was. I was 12 years old, doing inner work, and meditating in the cemetery about the meaning of life and how to be happy. What child is doing that? Does that tell you the amount of childhood trauma that I had? My soul at 12 years old was fed the fuck up and felt 40. So I know what it's like to not have a good mother. And I am so thankful for my madrina, my yaya, for stepping in and teaching me, not only teaching me a lot of stuff, but embodying it in the way that she carries herself, you know? And she's a perfect balance of, she's very nurturing and loving and protective when necessary, but she's also very strong and firm and a no-nonsense type of woman. She is an embodiment of the divine feminine in every way. And that is the type of godmother that I hope to be one day, because I know what a lot of women are dealing with. And sometimes your own fucking mother is enemy number one. Okay? And even if maybe you don't feel like you have mother wounds, but you have other trauma, the spiritual pruning training will be amazing for you. Okay? It's very, very intricate and deep inner work, and I look forward to sharing it with y'all. It really helped me and made a difference in my life, and I'm going to give it away for free for a limited time, because I know other women need it. Okay? I'll probably release it in July, like during Cancer season, because Cancer is the mother, and while I love Cancer energy, I am a Cancer sun. I also know that Cancer season can bring up a lot of emotions related to our childhood and our mothers and our family. So maybe it'll help y'all navigate Cancer season, okay? I love y'all so much. Again, if you would like to check out my Destiny Swapping course, it is up for pre-sale. Go to sirensnectar.com/destiny also to keep up with me and make sure that you never miss a video. Turn on your notifications on YouTube and join my email list. Okay, it's free. And it's my little Siren community that I love. I'm completely uncensored over there. It's my little safe haven, okay? And I'll put that link in the first pinned comment and the description. You also, if you sign up for my email list, you automatically receive a complimentary Signs of Destiny Swapping PDF that I created, that will tell you not only 7 different common signs of destiny swapping, but there's also inner work in there. There's journal prompts and whatnot to help you move through it. Okay? Again, check the first pinned comment on this episode. Alright? I love y'all. Thank you. Bye.